Today we're playing Spider Mall, a video game that was referred to me by a viewer for two reasons. For one, it's an FMV game about being trapped in a mall with a giant spider, so yes please. And two, it's from the same developer as I Saw Black Clouds, a baffling game that sucked ass. Black Clouds had you playing a woman investigating the mysterious death of her friend in a small town, and depending on your choices, she was either haunted by a ghost or fleeing an organ harvesting ring. But it doesn't matter which plot you got because the entire game was dream therapy bullshit to treat your character's survivor's guilt after escaping a kidnapping. I'm being coy because YouTube gets mad at Black Clouds' attempted subject matter, but you get my point. I Saw Black Clouds was the poster child for how many modern FMV games are just movies that were rejected by all the streaming platforms. So going back for seconds from the same dev team, if this one's a dream too, I'm going to be pissed! Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the exclamation point in the title. It's not Spider Mall, it's SPIDER MALL! Alright, the game is presented as found footage recovered by a group called Rushmore Biomedical, and I had to turn off the subtitles right away because the first thing that happens is the subtitles cover up the in-game text. Morons! We see in first person our anonymous man breaking into a mall at night from the rooftop, and from there he just kind of wanders around in aimless circles. What, dude, are you here to rob the place? Paint dicks on the walls? Pork the mannequins? Why are you here just to screw around? Eventually our brave, whoever we are, overhears some guards coming, and we get to our first actual gameplay. The movie pauses, and two choices appear on the screen. Yes, it's one of those. Toilets! Store! I guess we're picking a place to hide from the guards. Might help to slip past the guards if our moron protagonist turned off his flashlight. Let's try the store. The store is empty. Did you break into an abandoned mall, you dumbass? Miraculously, the guards just happen to follow you wherever you go, and I have a feeling that it's a random 50-50 guess as to whether moving or staying put gets you killed. Yep, called it. Fine, let's hide in the bathroom instead.
No. Oi! What are you doing here?
Oh, come on! What are the odds the guy uses the one stall that I hid inside? Next, we go bumbling around the support infrastructure of the mall until the game just brings up an ass random choice of left or right.
Shit.
Oh hey, I randomly ran into some guards that I had no way of knowing were down here. That's totally fair game design. Eventually, our hero escapes on his own, and then suddenly we are teleported back across the mall and run into a locked door with a keypad and another random choice that means nothing. Sure, let's see if I die randomly again.
There's gotta be another way out of here.
What did he just say?
There's gotta be another way out of here.
So our main character broke into this mall, bumbled around for 10 minutes, that's how long I've been playing and nothing's happened, 10 minutes, and now he's just whining about wanting to leave. Why did we break into an empty mall only to immediately want to get out of it? What are we doing? Does dumbass not remember how he got in through the roof in the first place? Is something ever going to happen in this game? Oh good, the game's stopping to take a phone call.
Tough guy.
Mate, you got no chance of finding me.
Really, because he pinpointed your location enough to ring the exact room you're standing in, moron. Yeah, what's your favorite place to hang out in the mall? The access halls for all the pipe work, the multiple stories of staircases, the employee break room, or the business conference room that was clearly not shot in any mall on planet Earth? They named the game Spider Mall and filmed it literally everywhere except a mall! So after 13 minutes of wandering aimlessly down identical empty corridors, you find one of the guards dead in a hallway, and do only what any honest and good person would do in this situation. Loot his body for useful items.
Fucking hell! He's got one of the radios!
Ah! Cockhead flashed himself with his own flashlight!
Is
But oh, we hear the rumblings, and we finally see the game's monster. We come face to face with the giant... The giant Unity asset spider that doesn't even slightly mess with the footage. Good lord. Not since Neil Breen fought a white tiger have I seen such seamless effects work. Who looked at this footage and said that it was okay? Our hero decides to start working with the guards, and the lead guy Mick believes that you didn't kill his friend because another guard has gone missing.
Ranting and raving about being attacked by something.
See, I told you it was real.
Yeah, there is no path through the game where our hero explains that he saw a giant spider before this point in the game, so that line is complete bullshit. How the hell do I remember the script better than the people writing and filming it?
What's your name, mate?
You can call me X.
Well, that's a dumb name. Who the hell would willingly name themselves X? Yes, our hero explains that he is Explorer X, a guy who films himself breaking into empty buildings. That just raises further questions. The game's loaded down with VHS video effects to look like something from the 80s or 90s, so you mean to tell me that X is lugging around a big-ass VHS camera, filming himself wandering empty buildings in first person, and all for... what? YouTube won't exist for another decade or so, and somehow I doubt there's a vast underground black market for secret videotapes of bungling around empty floors in the dark! It's like they realized that they couldn't have the main character just be a thief, or else we might not want to keep him alive, so instead he's just an idiot. Okay, the mall is locked from the outside. Never mind that they're not filming in a mall in the first place. So Doorknob the Explorer is given a choice. Either save Moose the security guard, or get stepladders to reach a skylight and try to escape.
He's a big motherfucking spider!
I told you it was real.
No, you didn't! Stop pretending that's a thing! You can choose to get Moose to the guard room through either the elevator or the stairs, and if you do the smart thing and take the guy who can't walk through the elevator, he dies instantly. Better go upstairs so that the remaining guard Mick cannot react at all to both of his friends being horrifically murdered. Mick sends you to go get industrial cleaners to get weapons to fend off the spider, which... Okay, so can giant man-eating spiders just not see the giant flashlight pointed straight at its face? And I'm almost certain that they left in a blooper here where X's actor bumbles into a dead end on accident. There are two anonymous left-right choices. X has to go back to Mick to get a lighter that the moron should have sent in the first place. I'm 25 minutes in, and it feels like nothing's happened. This whole game is just wandering down empty, unmarked, interchangeable hallways. Any idiot could have filmed this! You have the option of shutting down the sprinkler system at the risk of maybe burning down the whole mall, except, again, we're not filming in a fucking mall! Yeah, that's good, X. Nobody can tell that you're not actually moving the sprinkler valve. Okay, let's see how Unity Assets over live footage handles throwing a Molotov cocktail! It's like one little black pillar with some weak-ass fire around it. Oh, cripes. This dude in a hazmat suit runs through with miraculously only his head on fire and somehow cognizant and rational enough to be able to handle stairs. Again, Neil Breen would be proud of effects this glorious. The exit they wanted to use is blocked off, so X has to crawl through a vent, which they also animate in Unity to where it looks like you cut over to a Five Nights at Freddy's game. X winds up in a massive garage and another maintenance area that I'm sure are all still a part of the same mall. Trust me. And I don't even know why I'm here. Mick chants some crap into the walkie-talkie, but his speech is so garbled I can't make out what the hell he's saying.
People opening one of the upper exits to the roof. It has about suits. They've got guns. What's he to do?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
And then he calls out directions that I don't understand. I don't even know what these switches are supposed to be doing, and did that work or not? So there's like 4 or 5 choices here just running back and forth across some kind of garage with no idea what the hell's going on until X just reaches a fire escape and he leaves. And the game's over. What? Okay. I fell ass backwards into the good ending, I guess. It only takes about 35 to 40 minutes for a single playthrough. It just feels longer because nothing friggin' happens. And hold on, the start of the game presents all this as found footage of Explorer X in the mall, but they also play an endgame briefing that X escaped and he's still missing. So, how did they get this tape? Did he just drop it on his way out, or did they buy a copy of his bootleg snuff film, I Got Chased by a Unity Spider, off the black market for their records? I feel like I thought this out way more than the game developers did. Naturally, after my initial playthrough, I began trying all the different courses through the game to map out the game's options and to look for secrets. And while Spider Ball on its surface looks like there are tons of branching paths through the game, most of the options are completely pointless. Your first option to hide in the bathrooms or in the store, yeah, the game proceeds exactly the same either way that you choose. The only difference is that you can grab a guard's radio in the bathroom, and even that does nothing. You just get a slightly different cutscene for getting through that keypad door a few minutes later. The left-right option where I ran into the guards, both directions lead to the same place and the same guards. The keypad door where you can try the stairs or a side room to look for the combination, both paths lead to the same room. The vents fork of left or right, both lead to the same room. Looking for the chemicals where you can go left or right, both lead to the same room. Euclidean geometry has broken down to where no matter where you go, this cheap-ass game dumps you out in the same spot. You can talk calmly or aggressively to the guards. The difference is one sentence of script. Mick doesn't act any differently towards you if you willingly let his friend die. Even disabling the sprinkler system doesn't really matter since you can't burn down the mall or kill the spider. Leaving the sprinklers on just makes the game a little shorter because you skip all that crap with the vents to get the good ending. It's like they had to add filler choices to at least pretend that there's a real game here. Basically, the game has two endings depending on which exit you use, and the last third or so, all the choices are about ping-ponging between the two choices. If you get out through the fire escape, you get the good ending where X makes it clear, and if you escape through the shutter, then this happens.
Get off me!
Okay, first off, wow. I have no idea how you fail at filming an FMV sequence so hard that it looks like you fell out of the game world in real life. The big, I guess you'd call it a twist, is that Rushmore Biomedical is your Umbrella Corporation-style secret lab out to recapture their giant escaped spider, and if you escape out the shutter, they catch you. This isn't entirely out of the blue since Mick does call you on the radio to warn you that guys with guns are pulling up. It's just that the call's audio is garbled so badly that you have zero chance of understanding him without the subtitles. The subtitles that they had to patch in. Kind of feels like the game's missing a third act where we fight or elude the Black Ops agents trying to cover everything up and maybe kill the spider, but they couldn't even afford to film Spider Mall in an actual mall. I shouldn't be surprised they couldn't afford to finish an actual story. The real reason why there are so damn many choices in the endgame is to provide a minefield for keeping both Moose and Mick alive, since it's possible to escape with both for a golden ending. Except even if you play through the game multiple times, memorizing all the choices, like I did, the game's golden ending is pure crap. This is the ending I got on my first try. And this is me hours later escaping with both Mick and Moose on my fourth or fifth try. That's it. Having one or both of them alive changes nothing about how the game plays out. You just have another person tagging along for one or two cutscenes. That's it. There's your replay value. Now, that's not to say that all of the game is pointless wandering down empty hallways and ultimately useless choices. That's only most of it, but there are a few kinda hidden cutscenes that, wow. During one of the completely anonymous left or right choices, it's possible to find an ominous hole in the wall, and if you go through the hole... wreckage! And it gets worse. You wake up cocooned in what is very clearly supposed to be a xenomorph lair, and if you then escape through the shutter, it turns out that you have a chest-burster spider inside you that busts out to where the lab people turn on you with flamethrowers, all of which should be much more impressive looking than it is. Wow. By complete accident, I have a video to coincide with Alien Romulus. But the weird part is, if you escape out the fire exit, there's no chest burster. The game just completely forgets that ever happened, and X leaves perfectly fine. They straight up forgot to film an ending for this path through the game, to speak nothing of all the mistakes you can find where X will refer to dead people like they're still alive. Nobody was paying attention stitching this thing together. There are also two hidden bad endings that are a little obtuse to find. If you disable the fire systems, get to the vent, and then refuse to climb in, X actually wanders out into the shittin' mall from that Spider Mall title, and he falls and hurts himself, and the spider carries him off. And if you get to the fire exit with both Mick and Moose already dead, you can hide, which gets the spider to eat you on screen. With blood effects straight from the slaughtering grounds and a cheap censoring filter to cover up what they couldn't animate. Now, was all that worth scouring the game for days on end, recording 11 playthroughs trying to figure out why I was missing an achievement for being eaten, even though I'd been eaten 2 or 3 times? No, it was not. It wasn't until around my 5th crack at the game that I figured out you could skip cutscenes with the space bar, thank God. But that brings us to one final problem that kind of blows my mind. What would you say is the one thing that a full-motion video game actually needs to do? Play full-motion videos! And yet, this is what happened the first time I got to the bad ending. No, I did not hit the spacebar to skip to the end. The game just whole-ass skipped a cutscene! To the point that I thought the game was unfinished. It happened again the first time I got to the other bad ending. It periodically just happens where the game skips a cutscene on its own with no warning to where I wonder if I'm dissociating and accidentally hitting the spacebar without realizing it. But no, they just found a way to break the one thing that shouldn't be breakable. Spider-Ball! Feels like somebody noticed that the Backrooms, analog horror, and whatnot are popular on YouTube and thought it would make a quick and easy profitable FMV game. So they just filmed a dude running back and forth through whatever buildings would give them a permit, put a crappy CG monster over it, and called it a day. Maybe it has enough atmosphere to carry it through a first run, but once you scratch past the surface and find out how much nothing is going on and how there's barely a story to speak of, the only thing the game has to offer are friggin' hilarious effect sequences that make you laugh the way you laugh at stuff like Rhapsody Street Kids. And when I saw Black Clouds is no longer the worst thing on your resume, oof.